Yannick. Taylor. What's he say? It's a really good ball. It's Shabalala! Goal! Bafana! Bafana! Goal for South Africa! Goal for all Africa!
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of How's Your Touch? A podcast where friends meet weekly, try to meet weekly.
Thank you.
Discuss soccer, latest news in soccer, just discuss different topics, make predictions, bold takes, a little bit of everything. I'm your host, Darren Baidu, aka the Oracle, because I see things other people don't see. I have my co-host here with me, Tate Alonso, and the one and only. He is the worst guest we've ever had. He's the only guest we've ever had. The one and only Joshua Opaswamani. Tate, you want to tell the people what we're doing today?
Hey, so if Sebastian, if you could stop gassing up Darren's Oracle takes in the comments, please, I'd appreciate it. But besides that, yeah, so I thought, Darren and I were talking. I thought our top 10 list last time was about a good discussion between Darren and I. So I said, let's think of another one. We chose top 10 wingers. So we asked a bunch of our friends, some people that just I knew, some people that just Darren knew, and then a combo of who we both knew. And we compiled a top 10 list. So I got, do you want me to go into the names or do we want to discuss it anymore? Darren and I did not give any sort of qualifier for how we did it. So some people might have rated it as top 10 wingers right now. Some people might have rated it as who they think is a better player, not necessarily based on form, but based on, skill and talent. Some people did a mix of both. We also classified a few other things. Cole Palmer, for instance, is a type of player that can play on the right wing, but we classified him as more of a 10. That's what I said in the original message. So I gave an example of him. And then Kylian Mbappe was another discussion topic, and we classified him as a striker. So just so everyone's aware before we start.
That's good.
All right. We ready?
Yeah.
All right. So we had a total of 22 wingers named. 22 wingers.
That's a lot of people.
But only 15 places because a lot of people were tied for a position. Our top 10 is a unit, like no ties, but all the way from 11th through 15th, there's a tie. So I'm going to start with the people who got 2 points, either meaning they got 9th or 2 10th place votes. So I'm going to start with the most outlandish one I've ever heard is Lionel Messi. I mean, bro is like 50 years old playing in the MLS. I mean, he's the GOAT. Let's calm down with that shout. And I'm going to be honest. I mean,
I think if you're going to put Messi on your list, he has to be number one.
Yeah, and who do you think it is? It's Sebastian and Ryan Veloz, bro. Like, who votes Messi? So if anyone wants to have discussion on Messi, I'm assuming everyone's cool if we skip through Messi.
Yeah, let's get over that.
Luis Diaz got a 9th place vote. And then we had one other tied was Kulishevsky. So those people were tied for 15th. I kind of thought he probably would have been in my top 10 if I considered him a winger, but I'm more of the vibe of him as a 10.
Yeah. He's also been playing, 8, 10?
Yeah, like so deep. Yeah. So, good. Don't need to have much discussion there. And then 14th, one player that I did consider, Jeremy Doku, did not get on the list. 3 points. I know Darren's saying he stinks. Him and Savinho, though, low-key are good wingers.
Savinho, sure. Doku is like, bro, 0 end product. Like, I can close my eyes and tell you exactly what he did. He put his foot on the ball. He spun his man. He went down line. And then his cross got blocked. Like, and that is literally all I see from Doku every game. But let's keep moving, bro. I don't want to stress on people who aren't in the top 10.
Yeah. Other one is Darren, you had him in your list. Lookman did not make the list.
What?
Another player that I kind of classified more as in my head more of a 9. But I see it. I think he's also very close to making my list. Good player. Darren and Josh, did you vote for him too?
Lookman? Yeah, he was a
Yeah. So if you two want to have a little bit of discussion on him, since you both voted for him, and then we'll move on.
I think if you're talking credit in the bank, like as achievements, like Lookman is rivaling a lot of people on this list. Like I think, bro, hat trick in a European final. Like how many people on this list can say I don't even know if anybody on this list has a hat trick in the European final. I know people are going to say, "Oh, it's Europa League," but like, who is scoring any hat tricks in Europa League finals? But I don't know. I think African Player of the Year as well last year. Like, I think he did a lot last year. Like, and I think people are gonna overlook Lookman, like you said, because I think of the versatility, like the fact he can play another position. So sometimes he's considered a 9, but I think all in all, to me, he's a winger. And also, I like players who have a little redemption arc. I think in the Prem, he gets remembered for that little stupid ass penalty attempt he had, that failed chip. But I think he kind of got like a stamp of like boo on him after that.
Yeah,
I think he's a player who's always been able to excite people. Like he will always be able to dribble, get you off your feet. Like, and for him, it was about like end product. And I think Serie A, to me, I agree, isn't the most top tier league, especially when judging attackers, because I think you can see a lot of attackers do really well in that league that might not be the top tier attackers, but I think he's been holding it down at Atalanta. And I know, barring his little beef with his manager this season, I think he's going to get a move. So that's why I had Lookman on my list. Josh, we don't want to hear what you have to say, but go ahead.
Josh, you got anything to add?
No, I mean, I think the first time I heard about Lookman was when I think that final, the Europa League final. And yeah, I mean, he also won, I think, African Player of the Year and stuff like that. So I mean, he's got like a good past, I guess, couple of years or whatever. And I guess my list, I made it kind of like inform, players inform stuff like that. So yeah, I was like, I mean, he's one of the best wingers in like the last year. So like, I just had to have him on my list. Yeah. So I mean, he was like 10th because I feel like he's not like better than the other people on my list. But yeah, but I think
I'm on my list too.
Yeah,
I think you guys had a completely valid reason putting him in. Again, I don't think he's far off it. I don't think he's a crazy shot at all. And
but, there's another player on this list that like is going to be on the list probably, and I'm going to be upset about it. Because too. I love that player too, but like me, like what is his career meant so far, other than tricks and flips, bro? Like, but yeah, let's move on.
All right, so then we got some players for tied 13th. So I don't want to talk on him long. One of them's Cole Palmer. We kind of already discussed why I don't think he's higher on this list. I think he would have been if I wouldn't have clarified that as him being a winger.
Before you move on, which dumbasses had Cole Palmer on their list anyway?
Let me look.
It wasn't me. I know that.
I don't think it was Josh. I really don't think it was Josh.
Yeah, I know it wasn't Josh. I got Josh's list.
Why can't I find him? Hold on. Oh, it was Jonah. Darren, you remember Jonah?
I remember Jonah.
All right. And then Keru Matoma
is also Jonah.
yeah. But Jonah, to be fair, had him 10th, so he wasn't the one that really hyped him up. I don't think Matoma's that far off it, but no, he's not on it for me. And then
body of work.
No, you can't.
Matoma has much.
But Darren, there is one that
as a player, Matoma's there.
There's one that stinks that's tied here, and his name's Hyunmin Son. Stinks, bro.
Josh
I mean,
didn't want this, and I didn't say anything to him. When he said
it took everything in me not to say.
I didn't even respond to the list.
I mean, what is that? Sentence on wingers, bro.
Bro, son, like, bro, go. Bro.
Sure. Like, I think, son, if we're going like, like all time, like, or like last 5-10 years, sure. But like literally the last 2-3 years, I think Son falls in the same category as Messi for me. It's like, bro, like go on your retirement plan, bro. Like you've done enough. We've seen enough. Yes, you don't have the trophies because you went or you play at Tottenham. But like, bro, you've done enough for your country, bro. Like we respect you as a player too. We know about you. Your streets will never forget. Left foot, right foot. We know about you, son. But like these last couple of years, like, bro, he's low key stinking up the place. Like low key. Like he's not creating much space anymore. Like I think a lot of people are clowning Sterling, but like, and I think Sterling is well deserved, by the way. Like I told Josh when he signed, I'm here for the vibes. Like Jamaica. Like that's it. I knew what we were getting. But I think Son, bro, he's just old. Like again, like I said, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, like last season, or even first season alone, or last season with Kane, I think he was still giving you some production. These years, bro, like, come on, bro.
Josh, defend yourself.
I don't know. Like, I mean, when I think of like wingers in the Prem, I feel like Son is always just gonna like come up in my mind because I don't know, like everybody knows what he can do. So I mean, even if like maybe Tottenham is what 14th, 13th right now. I mean, I don't know if it's like fully his fault, but
no, of course not.
I don't know. I mean, but I haven't really like I don't really watch other game stuff for like Chelsea games, so I guess I haven't really seen him play that much. So
Completely.
But yeah, you know, I mean, he wasn't that high on my list. I think he was like,
I think you had him 7th.
Yeah, 7th, 8th, somewhere like that. So
yeah, but, I mean that. I just want you to know that stunk, but it's okay. I mean, we got through the discussion. The comments will know. And then we'll go to 12th, and 12th again, close to my list, but I think there's definitely a reason he's not in my list, and it's Nico Williams. I think Nico Williams. I'm going to have a quick discussion on him. I'm not going to take long because I want to get to the top 10. But Nico Williams is someone that got the hype from the Spain tournament. I think before that tournament, people wouldn't have even said he was starting. And I think, those Euros, I think the Euros are a great place for players to get hyped up. We see it all the time internationally. But if you've watched Nico Williams much this season, which I'm not going to sit here and say I've watched a ton of him, but if you've watched him this season, he has not been the same player. I mean, last game he just played, he had a great game. But, I mean, he is not the player that he has been. Again, bag of tricks, really quick, some end product. So it brings the excitement. It brings that winger vibe. But just, I think he's just been, I think he just misses out on the list for me.
I agree.
All right. Now here's 11th, and this is where I have a little bit of a problem with the top 10 because I think 2 of these players should be in. At least one of these players should definitely be in, and I'm going to do him last. So I'm going to do first. We had Cody Gakpo with 10 points. I don't know about you guys. I think Gakpo is a great player, but top 10 winger. He's
recency bias.
Yeah, I agree.
Just being on a good team.
And given last year, no one would have said he's a top 10 winger in the league.
I think last year people wouldn't even have said he was a winger.
Exactly. So I mean, again, great player. I think
I like Cody Gakpo from
I agree.
Yeah, from Eredivisie days. I've liked Cody Gakpo.
And it's the vibe of like a 6'2", 6'3" winger that's fast and can dribble. I mean, I get the vibe. There's going to be one on the top 10 that's that same vibe. I mean, Marcus Rashford gives the same vibe too, so I get the idea there.
Low key thought about him, but I was like,
I know. I also was like, it can't.
Marcus, hey man, you keep doing what you're doing. Maybe next year.
I'm still sitting here watching Alejandro Garnacho, 1 goal, 3 assists in the Prem, and I'm supposed to remember
that. Votes.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad. But then I want to go through 2 here where I think it's okay to have a little prolonged discussion. First, Bradley Barcola missed out. And I don't know how much you guys have watched the PSG. I haven't watched a ton again, but recent Champs games and then recent Ligue 1, they've been one of the most fun teams in the league to watch, in my opinion, for their front three. And Bradley Barcola, and Darren and I think I've talked about him a little bit on this show, but he's a quality player. He's very young, but I think he's like a direct winger, which is nice to see. He's rapid and he's creative as well, which I really like. I'm kind of surprised he's not on the list, but
I put him on my list.
you did?
I did not.
Okay. I mean, honestly, it might be too early.
His biggest auditions for me, which were Olympics final,
Yeah.
big games in the Champions League this year, Arsenal.
Yeah.
He stunk up the place, bro. And I don't think it's his fault. I think he's just young.
Yeah.
And PSG team in general. It's like I know we'll talk about this player later, but like one of the counterparts at his team is having a crazy season. But to me, him being like a star on your team is a little questionable because we know how hot and cold he can be.
Yep.
He's having a very good season this year, but like, hey man,
But he's
but
crazy.
I think he's also in there more for like we know the kind of talent. But I think Barcola, it's like you said, it's early. I think he is very raw still. Like you can see he will be a very good player. He's also got the tall striker vibe, very good feet. He dances and he has those like glimpses of like, oh, I could be different. Like the goals he scores aren't normal goals. Like, so I agree with you. He just missed out for me. What about you, Josh? Any thoughts? Do you even know who he is?
I do know who he is, but I just forgot he existed when I was thinking of my list. I made my list. I was walking to work, so
And that's and Josh, I mean, as I'm looking at your list, it is like you said, it's like a lot of Prem, which makes sense. And the players you have that aren't from the Prem are players that I think everyone would have. So I mean, your list is fair from that standpoint. But I like, for instance, I do think Bradley Barcola is a better winger than Heung-min Son and Karu Mitoma. We'll go on to the next one.
I don't know if he's better than Mitoma, bro. I'm just saying, like,
you haven't seen Mitoma in the big stages.
Yes, I hear you, but we keep disregarding what Mitoma does to big teams in the
I think Mitoma is crazy. I agree. I think it's honestly an early shout for me. I just like what I see. But let me tell you guys, this next one pisses me off. I'm not going to lie. Kavicha Kvaratskhelia. Are you kidding me, bro?
I assumed he would miss out, though.
I did too, kind of, but
I think coming from Serie A, like, I think people just... like eyes aren't on Serie A like they used to be. I think a lot of people see what he does in Serie A. And I think the difference for him, and I think why everybody should have him, is he goes to Georgia and it's like
facts.
Yeah, I'm on the back, bro.
He doesn't even get GA sometimes. Watch the game, bro. I think for me, what frustrates me, and this is one of my, I mean, we just did last episode our favorite players. He's one of my favorite players too. And I think, I just think if you look at straight talent of a winger, I had him 8th on my list. I'll proceed by saying I don't think he's like a high top 10. But if you look at straight talent of a winger, he's top 3 dribbler on this list probably. Maybe not top. He's probably top 3. His physical profile is unreal, and he's so creative and technical in front of net too. I mean, I think he's the pure package. I mean, is he the most rapid player ever? No, but he's got that quick burst. Darren's talked about him a ton coming to Arsenal. He unlocks so many doors for Arsenal. I think Chelsea spent who knows how much money on the past few wingers they bought. He's someone that fits into that Chelsea team and changes them. I mean, they got Jadon Sancho, Mr. Hezzy back pass.
None of your 300 wingers get on this list, bro.
Exactly. And that's what's crazy. And this guy is someone that's significantly better than all of them, in my opinion. And I don't want to say the next 2 people yet, but he's by far better than the next 2 people, and I think we'll have that discussion once we get there. But he's someone that I think, when I look at this top 10 list, I am shocked that's not in. Josh, we threw strays at you. Do you want anything to respond, or you just want to take them?
I'll just take them.
All right, sounds good. All right. And now we get into the top 10. So number 10, I am not positive if Darren was referencing him before, but I think he might have been. He had 12 points. Kvara had 10. He had 12. Rafael Leao.
Yeah, bro. Listen. Listen. I'm a Leao fan. Let's preface what I say.
I agree.
But we have to be honest about Leao, bro. Like, I know people think everybody can go on this Vinicius path. Oh, like one day people are saying he's playing against us, and then another day, like I'm getting Ballon d'Or shouts. Like, bro, like this guy is so good on the ball. I think it's like you can't deny the fact that he looks like he should be playing football. Like when he's on the ball at his feet, he is different. But like, bro, he is so lazy, bro. Like he is Pogba, but like lazier, bro. Like he doesn't run unless you're playing the ball into space that I want it into or to feet so I can cook him in. And don't get me wrong, sure, there are players who can afford to do that. If you're Messi, bro, I hear it. But you're Rafael Leao, bro.
Facts.
You haven't done shit yet, bro.
Facts.
Like you haven't done anything yet.
Yeah.
Lock in. Because realistically, if we're saying talents, I think he could be top 5 on this list. But like production, we have not seen enough of you, bro. So step up if you want me to rate you, actually. But
Josh, what do you think of Leao?
I mean, I haven't seen him like his games too often, but from what I've seen from like highlights stuff like that, I mean, he has flair, and I mean, he can dribble. I don't know about his end product that much, but I don't know. Again, like most of my list is from players, so I haven't watched him enough to really form an opinion. But
I got you.
Yeah.
Leao, Darren, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. Leao, again, I'm going to talk about profile of wingers when I describe Leao, and he's the profile of winger that I think of with Kvara. He's the profile of winger I think with Marcus Rashford and Gakpo. Except I'd relate him most to Kvara probably, or he's definitely more Rashford. I think he's the Rashford of Serie A, honestly. His work rate is, and I think people get slagged off all the time about being lazy, and I don't think he's lazy on offense, but again, it's defense.
I think it's just work rate. Like
exactly, it's like an NBA player, bro, playing. Yes, and I think I watch him and I see it. And if I'm going top 10 purely based off talent, he's got to be in there. But I do think someone like Kvara has to get in over him because what he did, I mean, he won a championship for Napoli. Him, Osimhen, and did they even have, I mean, their midfield was decent, but it was him and Osimhen carrying that team. Yeah, I mean, this boy from Georgia came in. I just think it's crazy that he's not in this list. But again, Leao, I see it. And to transition to number 9, his Milan teammate is on this list, which I think it's even crazier that this guy's on this list to me. And from an American, it's crazy. Christian Pulisic.
There's no way. There's no way.
I agree.
Let's end this whole episode.
Right? I want you to know that everyone that voted for him was from obviously my friends.
I know it was your friends too, bro.
I know. Okay, I'm gonna give some names.
When we're gonna do the list, I was gonna say to you, you have to put in there no Captain America shouts, bro. 0 Captain America shouts.
I hear what you're saying. He didn't cross my mind for the list. But if you've watched Milan this season, he's been one of the most important, if not the most important winger on that team. I hear him over the Leao shouts because when I've seen productivity this year, if we're going off right now, he is right now doing more for Milan than Rafael Leao. And the reason I didn't have him in my list personally, because if I was going solely based off form, he's in my top 10. And I'm not even saying that as a biased American. It's from watching Milan and the stats and the numbers he's putting up. But for me, he's nowhere near the skill of these other players. I mean, he just can't be on the list for that reason alone. I mean, he's not better than Kvara. He's not better than Gakpo. He's not better than Nico Williams. He's not better than Mitoma. And I just think, the shout is, again, where we have a slight issue is we could either go a small list where there would be fewer names and less discussion, or we could go a large list. I asked for a large list, and some of the people, Darren, you know, JR is always in our comments. He had him 8.
Abe is crazy.
But if there's the highest I've seen him was my one friend from college, Ben, had him 5th. It's insane. 5th. And he didn't have some players in the list. He didn't have I'm just shocked that he had him 5th. I mean, over Rafinha.
Bro,
I mean, that's
let Josh speak on politics. You got him at your team. Thoughts?
I mean, like when I think about him at Chelsea, I remember that one goal. I think it was during like COVID time where he like dribbled through. I think it was Liverpool or something. And that's probably like his like top highlight at Chelsea. But I don't know. Like I like him as a player, and especially when he plays for the US and stuff. But like, bro, he didn't even cross my mind.
Exactly.
When I saw this list, like
exactly.
This is a very American tainted list, bro.
But I would like to say that besides that, I think that the list of 8 people we have on the rest of this list are the correct top 8. I think our issue is the order, which we'll discuss now. Number 8, and I think he's probably sitting at the right spot here. And just to name some, I had him 10th. Darren had him 7th, so Darren's very close to where he was ranked. Josh did not have him on his list, and I honestly, Josh, I honestly understand it. But Ousmane Dembele, I think Ousmane Dembele is crazy at his best, bro. He's top 5. He might touch top 3 on this list at his best.
I hear you, but so this is my thing. Any player that you have to preface by saying
facts at his best. Facts.
Because there's a reason you have to preface.
That's why I had him 10th. That's why I had him 10th.
And I agree with you. Like Dembele, if we're saying like at their, I think he might be number 1 on this list.
He honestly might.
Like left foot, right foot, left wing, right wing. It doesn't matter
now too, bro.
It's different. Like when he's like, "Yo, like I'm on it today." It's scary.
Dribbling, bro. Oh,
like,
scary. Oh my.
But I think for a lot of us, it's the like seasons and season of injury, no production, injury, no production, injury, no production.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to, like I said, I love a fairy tale story. Someone.
I think he's a top 10 winger.
I agree, especially right now too. I think he is out of his boots right now. But yeah, I think for me, he needs to do a little more to climb back up to the position on the list that I think he deserves to be.
If he had a better World Cup final performance, he might be higher on this list. But getting hooked after 35 minutes is really tough to come back from. So, Josh, Ousmane Dembele, thoughts on Ousmane?
Yeah, I honestly, again, I made this list walking to work. I completely forgot about him.
Will he be on your list? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, he would have been top 5 on my list. Like, because I did my list based on form, and like, I don't know if there's any like right now. He's probably the most informed winger, like right now.
He honestly is pretty close. Well, there's one that's more informed than him. And we'll talk about him later, but
yeah,
you know who it is too. But yeah, I agree with you.
There's one.
There is definitely one.
I guess so. But like, he's like, okay, but that guy is like probably going to win the Ballon d'Or. So like, except for that guy,
yeah, I got you. Yeah, but I agree with you, Josh. Ousmane is. I mean, I think again, you're showing that your ball knowledge has potential. It has potential to improve.
No, it doesn't, bro. That's not lying.
Thank you, Tate. Thank you, Tate, for the
Let's move on, bro.
All right. Let's go to number 7. This is where I start to get mad, personally. So I had this guy 3rd on my list. 3rd on my list. Darren had him 5th. Again, he's way too low. And Josh had him 6th. Yeah, so all of us had him above his weight. And I think the thing that pisses me off is he missed out on people's lists. And I just can't understand. So Dembele was on 31 points. We go up to 53 points next. Bukayo Saka in 7th? I'm gonna hand this over to Darren because Darren's a huge, and I'm gonna finish it off because I love Bukayo too. But I want Darren to have the floor with this one.
Bro, there's not much to say about Bukayo, bro. Like, there isn't much, to be honest. I think if you watch Bukayo, if you actually sit down and watch the teams he plays for, like, bro,
He makes every team
this
better.
man won England Player of the Year back-to-back years for a reason, bro. Like, we're talking about England's best international performances in recent times, and Bukayo Saka is winning Player of the Year back-to-back years for them. And let's just not move on to Arsenal, bro. Like, but when Bukayo first came into this Arsenal team, when Mikel had inherited us that season, I believe we're in what 14th place. 14th. So that's where we started the journey with Bukayo, 14th place. And now we have gone. This would be our third season now trying to go for the title. Like I hear people being like, "Oh, he didn't win it." But this year, this man was going like nobody can convince me otherwise. He was going to break that assist record. And I know it's gonna go to somebody else this year, potentially.
We'll
But
talk later.
Bukayo was saying, "Yo, we're going bam for bam, bro," before the injury. Like, and I think like he has needed rest, and unfortunately, like because he produces at the clip that he does, like you don't really rest players like that. Like when you know they can change a game at any minute, and unfortunately, he got injured this season. But and I think that is also a reason why a lot of people left him out off of their list, which I think it is very fair. Like say like someone like Josh, if you're going off of form, Bukayo played what like 4 or 5 months of the season. Yes, he was going crazy during those 5 months, but I think you have to also credit the literal previous years before, bro. Like a lot of people like to clown Bukayo Saka, but like let's really look at the people we've been getting compared to, bro. Someone won PFA Player of the Year last year, and this year we're not speaking on his performances. And people would tell me, "Oh, it's because Rodri isn't there." Bro, we've seen Bukayo without Odegaard. We've seen Bukayo with nobody, with David Luiz, Socrates, and Mustafi, with Colossus.
Mohamed El Neni.
Respect
Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang.
Bukayo, bro. That's all I have to say, bro.
All right. In respect to Josh, because you threw kind of stray at him. Actually, not really. You were just saying based on form. Josh is also on his list, having where he's looking at the previous years too. That's why Hyunmin Son was included in the list. I think
bro, this one don't make no sense, bro. This one makes no sense. What is it? He's looking at form. So Carmelo made the list, but Hyunmin Son made the list.
My list. I don't know. I guess it was mostly form, but maybe it had a little bit of like. Something like
just a little bit to get Sun winger.
I understand the Sun pick. It's just like when you say my list is based on having your big son is crazy, bro.
Josh, thoughts on Saka though, and then I'm gonna just speak a little bit, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of my favorite players in the Prem. Like, he's probably the only Arsenal player that I follow on Instagram. Yeah, I mean, like, I like him as a player. Like for both England and Arsenal. So, like, I mean, just had to make my list. Like, I don't think he's better than the top 5 of my list. At least, I mean, obviously not right now. But like, yeah. But I definitely think, like, I mean, at his best, like, I've seen him just like cut in and just put the ball anywhere he wants to put in. Go. So like, like that ability, I think like, a lot of the wingers, like they don't have, like they can dribble, but they don't have finishing product, but he has both. So
yeah. I think Bukayo is someone I want to bring up later in this list too, because we're going to talk about players that I completely disagree being above this list. And again, I'm higher on Bukayo than Darren is on this list, and Darren's the Arsenal fan. So, and I think the reason I'm so high on Bukayo, and I'm not going to talk about him long, is just we've seen what Arsenal have looked like without Bukayo, and I'm sorry, it stinks. It stinks. Bukayo is the creativity. Bukayo is the goal scorer. The reason Kai Havertz works at 9 is Bukayo. The reason Martin Odegaard looks so good is Bukayo. And not saying either of these players aren't good. I'm just saying Bukayo makes every player around him better.
I agree. But, like, this is the thing with him. Is that, like, a lot of people like to look at Arsenal and be like, oh, then you shouldn't have so much production relying on one player. And I hear that. But, like, we're literally going to see a team win the league this year
with so much potential. Exactly.
75% of all their goals
Exactly.
coming from one player, bro.
And we'll talk about him. But I agree. I think Bukayo, I think it's because he's not the flashy player that can beat a man down the line. Bukayo's, in my opinion, top 3 crosser in the league when he has his time and he has his chance to put the cross in. I think Bukayo's finishing is unreal. And I just think people don't realize the work this man puts in. I think he's a litmus test for football. And I think you watch the game, and if you rate Bukayo, I think you know I think you see the game the same way I do, I guess I would say. So, yeah, Bukayo, I want to bring him up a little more too at the end or in between intermittently. Number 6 on the list, someone that I did not have above Bukayo, and I don't know how he's above Bukayo. And my favorite player, probably I've talked about at this podcast, is Michael Olise with 61 points. No way he should be ahead of Bukayo. And I mean, Darren just posted on his story about how much I love Michael Olise. Like, we have to understand what Michael Olise is. He's unreal. He's cooking at Bayern, but if Bukayo was on Bayern, he'd be cooking even more. Now, at their best, do I think Michael Olise is better than Bukayo? That's a conversation for a different day, but I can't take back what I've seen from Bukayo right now and what I've seen from Michael Olise right now. When they were both in the Prem, granted, one played for Crystal Palace and one played for Arsenal, but I mean, Bukayo looked better than Michael Olise. I think Michael Olise is guaranteed, in my opinion, on this list, and I think I had him 5th. I don't think he's guaranteed top 5. I think he's guaranteed top 10. And again, it's the dribbling for me. It's the creativity for me. That is really why I have him on my list. I've talked about him so much. I don't even have anything else to say. So if you two would like to discuss him.
I hear Olise. I agree with you. I don't think he's better than Bukayo. But I think, like I said, I think injury has tainted Bukayo in a lot of people's eyes, especially for this list. Thus, him being completely exempt from some people's lists at all. But respect to Olise, bro. I think at Palace, we all knew what Olise was like. I think even with Eze there, everybody was saying, "Yeah, Eze is a baller," but like Olise is different. Like, we know Olise is getting his move.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not like a maybe with Eze. It was like, okay, who is going to go get Olise? And I've loved Olise for forever, bro. Since that one Snapchat picture of "I won't be here too long" when he was at Rangers talking about.
Dude, I love his personality, bro. He doesn't care. He doesn't care, bro.
I agree. And footballing wise, bro, like he's different. Like, I think when we think about like players that the baton is being passed to, I think if we're thinking about like dribblers, like I think he's one of those players who's definitely taking up the baton for dribblers. Like, and one of his partners too, and Musiala, who I think would have missed out on this list because we're all like, bro, what position does he play? But like, I think Olise is one of them, bro. He is one of them. Like,
Josh, you have any? I've heard Darren and I talk about him a lot because I'm obsessed. But do you have any thoughts on him? I love to hear other people's thoughts on him.
Yeah, I think he was like right below Saka on my list, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. And below Son, but it's okay.
So I mean, obviously I rate him. Like, I think from like when I've seen him play and like highlights and stuff like that. Yeah, like he's one of those like dribblers that, like, I don't know, he can beat anybody. And yeah, I also like his personality as well. That, like, especially like he never has a caption for anything. He's just like, he's just always quiet.
He's using Instagram the way it should be, bro.
So yeah, so I think I like his player profile. So that's out of my list.
Yeah. And again, I think the best part that Darren could say is it's not like we've been rating him from, when he got his move to Bayern or when he had his big breakout season at Palace. I mean, we've been seeing it for a while. And I think, that's just the biggest testament to Olise. Again, I'm going to preface this by saying championship to Prem. Just keep watching that development. I'm telling you. Anyways, number 5, our top 5.
This guy is trying to PR Amad Diallo so bad.
Facts.
Nobody's eating that bullshit up, bro. Let's move on.
Anyways, number 5 on our list. 61 points for Elise, 66 points for this guy. I'm not going to talk too much on him because I don't know too much about him, but Rodrigo.
Arsenal soon, man. That's all I'm saying about Rodrigo. Real Madrid, this is all I'm saying, right? I know you guys want William Saliba. You're twerking for him. I know, bro. And I'm saying, Saliba, you can have him. All you need to bring me is Rodrigo and 100 mil. Saliba is yours. Saliba is yours.
All right, Darren's done with this discussion.
Bro. Saliba is more one of a kind than Rodrigo is. True or false?
100 million plus Rodrigo.
How much would you value Rodrigo at? Like 100 mil,
100 million?
Okay, Saliba is 200 mil, bro.
No, he's not. There's no center back in the world that is 200 million. And we are no, you're cut off, bro.
Let me ask you another question. Who do you think is a more generational talent, Saliba or Moises Caicedo?
Okay. I
didn't say or Enzo Fernandez.
I didn't say either of those signings were good.
I'll take out Saliba or Declan Rice.
He can be
but this is what I hear what you're saying, but I'm saying that these players, and I rate Caicedo. You know I rate Declan Rice. Enzo Fernandez.
Are you talking about Chelsea signing? Bro, you could go to Chelsea. You could go to Chelsea and say, "We'll give you Saliba for £1 billion," and Chelsea would be like, "What a deal! Oh yeah, bring him to Stamford Bridge."
Bro, I mean, Arsenal signing too, though. I'm saying these are the prices these kind of players are going for. I can ask for 200 mil for Saliba.
Right.
I can. I don't
want to use any Chelsea sign, bro. Kepa is the most expensive keeper in the world. Because Chelsea signed him, bro.
We spent 80 million on Anthony. It's okay. We don't need to.
Okay. Back to Rodrigo.
Back to Rodrigo. Josh, talk on Rodrigo.
Finish up. I think he was 3rd or 4th on my list. So like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think he's very underrated at Real Madrid just because of the people around him. And like, I think like, at left wing, because Vinny is there, he doesn't usually play left wing, but like when he plays left wing, like he's like maybe like top 3, like at that position, in my opinion. Like he's fast, he can dribble, he can like finish. And like, I mean, he also doesn't really toot his own horn, like especially with everyone around him. He could like make a case like, oh, I'm like maybe better than some people on this team, but he just plays, and I mean, he lets his ball speak for him. And so I think from what I've seen, like, yeah, I think he's definitely top 5 on this list, in my opinion.
Darren, I have one question for you. Is Rodrigo better than Bukayo Saka? Because I'm saying no.
He is.
I think he is.
Talent, yes. Production, I don't think so.
But how can we classify that he's? I'm just struggling to fathom how he's
the type though. Like I think Bukayo has this in spurts, but I think Rodrigo is the type who steps up in every big game he plays. Like every big game he plays, he's like, "I'm gonna give y'all something." And I think, especially playing out of position, it is unfair to fully judge Rodrigo.
And that's where we're gonna have to stop that.
To me, he's like 3rd or 4th best right winger in the world right now.
I mean,
and that is him playing out of position, bro. That is scary, bro. And I've said to Danny this for years. Danny's any of you who know this, Danny's a Real Madrid sexual, bro. But I've said to Danny for years, and Danny has kind of agreed with me, not completely, that I think Rodrigo is the best dribbler at Real Madrid, bro. Like, I know Vinny has the tricks and whatnot, but bro, if you're saying, "Oh, I beat my man and I'm going now," Rodrigo is doing that every time, bro. Every single time. It might not be as cute when it's not a player's not getting megged in there, but bro, I'm looking for efficiency. Beat your man, go to goal. I don't need you to do a flipping Rabona between the legs, over the top, bicycle kick, scorpion kick.
What about a no-touch dummy through Fernandinho's legs and then running into
a 33-year-old Fernandinho.
All right, listen, we're not going to talk about
the oldest man on the pitch.
But listen, I hear you guys. I think it's hard because I think I love the big game shout, but also the consistency is just as important to me. You want to show up in big games, but dude, beating Southampton. Okay, maybe not Southampton, but beating someone like Ipswich isn't for everyone, bro. And beating those smaller teams, you need to have those players that can dig you out of a low block, and I think Bukayo does that. So
sure, but I think Rodrigo could too.
And listen, this is where I think we need to see him in his natural position. This is where I like the Arsenal shout because I'd love to see him in the Prem. So definitely
Real Madrid.
Top 10.
Let's talk. 100 mil. 100 mil. Right. 100 mil. Number four. We went from 66 to 85. So this top 4 isn't even close. This is the top 4 wingers in the league, according to How's Your Touch. Number 4. And I think if it weren't for this season, he might not be in the top 10. I agree.
I would have had him in the top 10. He might not be in the top 10.
I would have had him in the top 10 too.
And I just want people to know that I've been on this train. I made Sebastian Guerrero watch 30 minutes of this man's highlights. Darren's seen probably at least 30 minutes of those highlights.
If you watch the pod, you'll realize that watching highlights is a bonding moment for us.
It is,
watching football highlights is a bonding moment.
Some of us recommend ballers like Rafinha. Some of us recommend ballers like Arthur Melo. Anyways. So yeah, Rafinha, again, right now, right here, Josh talked about most informed wingers in the league. I personally think this guy's number 2. I think this guy's the second most informed winger in the league. We'll talk about number 1.
Arguably second most informed player in the world, bro.
Agreed. And I think we have to realize that this man is this good. But I also think we need to realize that the quality of play right now, bar number 1, is not quite as high as what we're used to. And that's why I think he's getting overhyped a little bit, because I think, if Saka were here all year, Saka would be better than him. And I think there are a lot of players. Again, he was, in my list, he was 6th. I had him below Michael Olise because of the talent I see from the players. I think Michael Olise is better than him. I think Bukayo Saka is definitely better than him. But Rodrigo right now, if you're looking at the right here, right now, which has to be considered in everyone's top 10, he's got to be up there. Rafinha. Unreal stats this season. Unreal player, too. He's not
Rafinha, you mean?
Oh, who did I say? Rodrigo?
Rodrigo, yeah.
Rafinha. Sorry, Rafinha. Yes, but
you're never hosting again, bro.
I know. My bad.
I'll host. Spam L's in the chat.
Shut up, bro. Anyways, maybe not the craziest dribbler, maybe not the craziest finisher, maybe not the craziest passer, but he's good at all of them. And I've seen a development in his dribbling this year. He's someone that was out of favor at Barcelona, and Rafinha came back and he's cooking now. So, I mean, I think you both can talk on him. I'm sure you both have seen a lot of Barca this season. So,
yeah. I think people get caught up in the Barcelites and the big names, the young talents. And I think if you look at the stats, there's one player who stands above all, clearly stands above all, and it's Rafinha. And I think versatility has also hurt him probably in the case as a winger. But, bro, he's different. Even at Leeds, I could have told you he was different.
Yeah.
The issue was he had to be running 8-mile run every game under Bielsa.
Exactly,
bro. And
Bielsa had him running circles around the field before the game.
And now he can literally play. He's showing you that Brazilian player. And like you said, I don't think he is the standout player in any attribute, but he probably will stand 3rd, 4th best at that attribute when we compare a lot of players. Nice. When you talk about dribbling, when you talk about creativity, when you talk about assists, when you talk about goals. I think, bro, he's been different. And I think there's another player who's probably higher up on the list, and I expected this because he's younger. People are going. There's a craze.
We're going to talk about him,
but I think like it's as simple as Rafinha's on the same team as him, and he's playing better. Like, and I know people would not admit that because again, the other player is younger. There's more craze about him. But like, bro, go look. It's not even just about the stats. Look at the games. Look at impact in the games. When Barca are in a tight spot, it's not boot the ball to the right wing. It's where is Rafinha? He's the pressure reliever on the team. Like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not discrediting the other player, but I'm just saying, like, I think we're being a little disingenuous about Rafinha on this list because of said other player. Like, I think if we're literally comparing, and I get that the other player has Euros in their bag, but I think if we're saying, who out of these two have we seen at the highest level so far? I think Rafinha's season right now is not comparable by a lot of players in La Liga, period. How about a player at his team currently? So I think we have to respect Rafinha a little more for the year he's putting in. And I think a lot of, like you said to begin, like, he is this good. Like, it's as simple as I don't think this is like a purple patch season. He is this good.
Agreed. Josh?
Yeah, I mean, on my list, I had him higher than the other player Darren's referring to because I think, I mean, I think in terms of talent and like potential, I definitely think the other players miles better. Could be in GOAT talks.
Yeah,
I agree. But yeah, I mean, like Rafinha has been like so like efficient this season, like goals, assists, like, and he's not playing striker, but and he has Lou on his team. I mean, I guess he's older now, but like he's been more productive than him all around. So yeah, so like I don't know, like I think at some point I even thought he was the most informed player before. Well, this other.
The other demon, bro.
Listen, I think agreed with all of what you're saying, and I think the reason, because as you guys are saying this, I'm like, I probably should have just had him higher. I just went based off pure. For me, I didn't even really. I took form very little into consideration and just looked at the talent of the player that I'm watching, and that's why he was 6 for me, because I think the players I had above him. When I watch the game, I'm like, this player gets me off my seat more and makes me enjoy the game more. But agreed, based on form, he's got to be, and just as a player in general, he's got to be up there. Yeah. Number 3, and this is where I get pissed off. All right, this is where the list is clouded. This is where people don't watch week in, week out because they watch the Euros and they see this person as greater than the person that we have at number 3. With 92 points is Vinicius Jr.
Crazy. Crazy. Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
I'm disgusted. I honestly want to end the stream because I'm disgusted. Listen, let's have a serious discussion here.
What are we doing?
We're going to talk. Agreed. We're going to talk about Vinicius Jr. first, and then we're going to talk about number 2, and more of the disgust will be on number 2. I had Vinicius Jr. number 1 on my list.
Not surprising. I knew you would, actually.
And listen, if you're telling me I can watch number 1 or I can watch Vinicius Jr.
Sure.
at your pump,
sure.
Who are you watching? And I'm not just saying it in a general game. Who are you watching? You're choosing Vinicius Jr. If I can watch any winger in the world and he's going to get me off my seat the most, it's Vinicius Jr. If I think of big games, and I understand the Rodrigo shout because he's been huge in big games, but I think of Vinicius Jr. in big games. Champions League, he's Mr. Champions League right now. I think he is the face of the Champions League right now. I think he is the most exciting dribbler, and I get what Darren's saying. If you look at actual quality of every action of dribbling, he might not be the most successful of dribbling. But you see those highlight reels that he puts.
It's also because he's trying more extravagant.
Exactly.
It's not because he can't be like, I'm just trying to beat you. It's like Brazilian in him, bro. He gets an itch when he has to play normally.
And that's what I want from my
winger. What do you mean give and go with no flicks and balls?
Tired of it, Darren. I'm tired of the Jack Grealishes in the world. I'm tired of the Phil
Damn.
Fodens in the world.
Damn.
I'm tired of it. I want my winger to.
Josh, you know who don't do that? You know who don't do that? You see how he didn't name any of us, Josh. We don't play like that. Respect us.
Anyway, I'm done with this discussion.
Please, hey,
We're-
man.
we're-
Hey, we're recording on the 27th. We have one more day after this. I'm gonna milk my month, Tate. You can't take it from me, Tate.
Anyways, again, I'll just say BLM and we'll move on. So Vinicius. I think the other thing I would say about Vinicius is we haven't seen him in the Prem, but guys, I've seen some of the dribblers that get around.
Do it on a rainy day in Brighton, bro.
Anthony Alenga makes defenders look like bums. Do you know what Vinicius Jr. would do to these?
He couldn't do it on a cold night at Brighton, bro.
You know what he would do? I don't think you guys understand what he would do week in, week out. And he's got the final product now. He
Cold
does.
night at Ipswich.
He couldn't.
He couldn't do it.
Anyways, Darren's too much jokes right now. I genuinely think Vinicius is the best winger in the world. I think his final product has gotten there. That was my biggest concern with him. And it's there. His creativity's unreal. His finishing's unreal. He's a big game player. He's the most exciting winger in the world. What do we want from our wingers? Who's supposed to get the goals in the team? The striker. The striker is your main goal threat. Vinicius doesn't get as many goals as number one. But my winger, if I'm an outside back, who would be the last person I'd want to play on this list? It's Vinicius Jr. Why is this man not higher? Why is he not two? Let alone being number one. Why is he not
He
two?
should be number two.
Disgusting. But he's the best winger in the world to me. So
I think if we asked this question last year, he would have been number one.
he would have. Exactly. How is this guy not number one?
But I agree with you. I think number two is clouding a lot of people's judgment. And I think it's the age thing. And I hear people but I think sometimes you have to let the story play out before you actually say,
exactly.
Yeah, because I think everybody knows that listen, we might be in GOAT talks, but we're not there right now, bro.
And
Let's be so for real. We're not there right now. Let's wait till we get there, bro. This man, to me, still hasn't been the best player in the world yet. So, I don't know how we can say, I think Vinny at one point was the best player in the world.
And Darren, I want you to know, this is the only year that you've said number one's the best player in the world. So I want you to know that.
Sure, yeah.
Exactly. So, I don't think I think when you're saying that, you're saying, Vinny would have been number one if it weren't for this year.
I agree.
I think that's 100% the way to look at it. I mean, the best player in the world. We've said that about Vinicius before. Have we ever said that about number two? Have we ever said that about anyone else on this list besides Vinicius Jr.?
I think
maybe Messi.
I think Sebastian would have said number one is the best player in the world at a point.
Yeah, but again, he's the only other one I would say on this list.
Fair assessment as well. I think his first season. We'll get to that, bro. Let's move on.
Josh, I want to give you talk about Vinicius.
I mean, he was number two for me on my list. So just because I feel like number one is number one right now. But I don't know. If I think of wingers, I think kind of what you said. He's the person I'd probably want to watch the most, except for actually the number two on this list. But yeah, I don't know. I think putting him above the next player is kind of, I don't know. I see it obviously, and I'm a huge fanboy for this next player, but I just think putting him above him didn't really seem right, because I feel the other players also so young, still developing. We haven't.
Bro, he has what, 2 Champions Leagues already,
and scored the winner in one. I mean, if we talk about the pass Vinicius has taken, I mean, even this year he's already scored a hat trick in the Champions League. They just bodied City. I mean, he's on a super team, and he's the main point. Him and Jude Bellingham are the main. Well, and now Mbappe, obviously, but they're the focal points. And I get the Rodrigo shout too, but Vinicius is taking all of it. And I also think, what'd you say?
Real Madrid, talk soon.
And I also just want to say that I think part of the reason he gets so much hate is because he speaks out, and it honestly pisses me off. I'm not lying. I think that's part of the reason. And it's actually disgusting. Actually disgusting.
Hey, that's not why he's not on this position on our list.
I have him first. Darren and Josh have him second.
They're allies.
But I just want you to know that this man is so disrespected. He's got to be one of the most hated football players in the world. And again, top winger in the world. But it's okay. Number 2, 98 points. Not even close to number 1. Number 1 was by far, if it weren't for me and one other person, he would have been unanimous. But number 2, Lamine Yamal. Discuss. I will
discuss. I don't know. So, again, I'm a huge Lamine fanboy. Like he's like the main reason why I watch Barca games. Like at this point, because I mean, like when Messi was younger, I wasn't really like watching and locked into like watching him that much. I'm not missing on the next GOAT, bro. So I'm trying to watch it with me, and like I honestly think like he could be in GOAT talks in the next couple of years. Like I definitely see him winning like at least a couple of Ballon d'Ors in his career and stuff like that. So I see why he's second. Like I don't think I'm like disgusted with it. I don't think it's right like to put him that high right now, but like what he's doing at 17 and even what he was doing at 16. Like he just turned 17. So like I don't know, it's crazy. Like to do this to like grown men, like having them falling all over the place, like and like I guess like you could just say, oh, it's La Liga, but he's doing it like internationally too. He's doing it in Champions League. He's doing it like every level. He's like just doing it to everybody. So I think like he definitely has the potential to be that high and even like number 1. But I just think right now like his finishing still needs some work. His decision making sometimes is not the best. Like maybe just because he's 17. So
before I give the floor to Darren, I just want to preface 2 things. First off, again, us hating on him is not saying anything like he's not unreal. Like obviously Lamine Yamal is unreal. Exactly what Josh just said there. He's 17. I mean, you're expecting mistakes, and he has mistakes in his game. So we cannot sit here and act like he's, some perfect player already because we see the potential. Also, again, the international tournaments, I just think we need to, obviously international football is important, but we need to also see what they're doing at club. And he's one of the reasons that's making Barca and Real Madrid one of the most fun games to watch in the world right now. But Darren, go ahead, and then I'll have the last thing to say.
I don't really have much to say about Lamine Yamal. Like I think sometimes people think I'm trying to like be like cool with my Lamine Yamal takes, but like it's as simple as like I think like Josh said, like he will be in GOAT talks if he continues on this trajectory. But I think sometimes people jump the gun too early on players. And I think you just have to like let it play out. And I think that's what's happening with Lamine. Like, don't get me wrong. I think so. A player, for example, is like Neymar. I think a lot of people would have said Neymar will win a Ballon d'Or. Like we would have bet on it that hey, Neymar will win a Ballon d'Or by the end of his career. But I think football changes quickly, and like I'm wishing Lamine the best. Like I love that. Like Josh said, I'm getting to see the GOAT from start to end now, potentially. So I want to see Lamine Yamal become the best, but I also just don't want people to jump the gun too early on Lamine Yamal. I think this list is showing that it might be too late for that. like because I just like even on the eye versus like production, like he hasn't done more than Vinny. So like I don't really want to taint the Lamine Yamal conversation with any negativity around Vinny, but I think, bro, like what is there to say about this kid, bro? Like I know I joke all the time about Ethan Wanieri, talk soon, but like I think it's clear to see that like if we're talking about next potential GOAT, like to me, I don't really think Mbappe will be in those conversations. I think Vinny has to step up goals and assists if he really wants to be in that conversation. I think Lamine dropping what is he, 12, 15 assists already in La Liga at 17 in one season is crazy, bro. Like we're literally only talking Lionel Messi, and I don't even think Messi was hitting those numbers that young. Yeah, bro. So like I'm saying, this is different. Don't get me wrong. Like this is different. Like and like we're seeing it in other sports too. Like Wemby, I'm also being like, yo, like what's cooking there? But I don't want to jump too early. I'm gonna let it cook. Let him cook. Like he's still 17. Like, bro, I think he has the world at his feet, bro. Like genuinely, I think. And we're seeing with him like a lot of positive traits. Like I think he's very grounded still. You can see he really just wants to work on his game. And I think he's also perfecting parts of his game that stand out. I think a lot of the time, like players will just assume, oh, this attribute is already good. So, like for example, like Marcus Rashford knows, oh, I can beat players, so I don't really have to work on that. Let me try and work on other things.
Mm-hmm.
And now, like,
fantastic.
oh, like I don't know if he can beat players anymore. Whereas Lamine, it's like, bro, like you can see he's working on beating players. You can see he's working on that little dink ball far post. You can see he's working on mixing up his assists. So, bro, like Josh said, potentially next GOAT. I'm here for it, but I think as of right now, he should wait his turn.
And I'll finish it up. You guys summed it up perfectly, I think. I think everything you said, I just want the viewers to know. I mean, you just heard Josh and Darren refer to him as, again, a future GOAT. And that's what we're saying. So none of this is hate on Lamine saying he's not a quality player. Again, it's just that we are talking about best wingers in the world, and it's so soon. Again, Darren mentioned earlier, he's not even the best winger on his team right now. And I think, again, I understand the hype. I had him over Rafinha too, because when I see Lamine Yamal play, I see it. I see the way he's dribbling, the way he's putting the ball, his delivery, everything. I see what he's doing, and I think he is at his best. And in his talent right now, I think he's better than other players that would be mentioned on this list, and I think that's why all of us had him in our top 10. But again, you give a little bit of hype to potential, but not above someone that's shown us it. The final thing I'll say is Darren talked about potential GOATs on this list, and he mentioned even Vinny. I don't even think Vinny's a potential GOAT. I think the only man
work to do.
Yeah, exactly. I think the only man in football that I've seen since I've seen Messi and Ronaldo that could be potential GOAT status is Lamine Yamal, and he's 17. Again, we've not seen someone break through this young. To be the potential GOAT, you have to break through this young. To touch what we've been lucky enough to watch the two best players ever, and definitely Messi, number one best player ever. I mean, to see you have to break out this young. But again, number 2, Lamine Yamal. I think it's crazy. I mean, we talked about it a lot. And let's talk about number 1, because we've been beating it around the bush. We've been
Mo Salah,
number 1,
running down the way.
Number 1 by everyone but myself. I hate Liverpool.
I knew you were gonna do the United thing, bro.
And one other person, one of the favorite commenters on our list, who very similarly to Josh put Rafinha number 1 because of current form. So Josh mentioned he might have been number 1 a few. I mean, I still think Salah is way more informed than him. Anyways, number 1 on our list, Mohamed Salah, future Premier League winner, potentially best Premier League winger we have ever seen, having potentially the best season in the Premier League we have ever seen, about to lift his team a trophy in the Carabao Cup potentially, top seed in the Champions League, and he's contributing, like Darren said, over 50%. I believe the stat is 75% of his team's GA. Mohamed Salah, let's have a talk about him.
Different. Different. I think he's the only player right now on this list who and obviously this is unfair because he's probably the oldest player on this list, but goes down as this guy is generational. I think yes, Vinny is good, but I don't know if Vinny has broken the generational barrier yet. I think Lamine would be too early to go because again, just 2 seasons we've seen of him. I think Salah, bro, from the moment he stepped in this league, he said, "Yo, This might be easy out here, y'all. Hey, this league is like I hear y'all wingers are struggling, but like this is dinner for me. And I think the funniest part is I like you said, I don't know if I love watching Salah. But the thing is, and I think when I was younger, hearing about like your Thierry Henrys, your Van Nistelrooys, those players that like you don't need to watch the game, like you know they did something. Like they might not even have had a good game. You know they're leaving with something. And I think it's crazy because, bro, I literally don't have to watch the Liverpool games. I know he's leaving with a goal or an assist. And the thing right now, and this year especially, I think Arne Slot has done well is saying, bro, like, we know you're on and off. Not even on and off in a sense. We know sometimes you need a lot of chances to give us some. But you know what? How about all of our chances are coming down your side? You can have it. You can have it. Like, if we're going on the counter, bro, I don't care if you guys, there's 3 guys on this side. Try and spray that long ball to Salah, bro. And I respect that because, bro, he is different, bro. I don't think it's an argument anymore about best winger in the Prem. Like, I hear people trying to say Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo hit another level as he went to Real Madrid. I think if we're saying, bro, the thing is, anytime the ball goes out to that wing, I know it's sticking. And I know something's about to happen. Like, whether he's getting fouled, he's turning and running at his man. And I'm an aesthetics merchant. Everybody who knows me knows I love aesthetics. But there are players who break the mold, bro, and it's okay for them to break the mold. Mo Salah, yes, the ball might bobble off his knees, but bro, it doesn't matter because when it does roll eventually, guess what? He's getting the strike on it, and it's going into the top corner. Like, it's as simple as. And people credit Luis Suarez for that. He'll make you, and it'll look nasty. He didn't mean it. But then he's one-on-one with your goalkeeper. He's like, I'll just shoot from 40 yards out, top nits. That's the kind of player Mo Salah is now, bro. It's inevitable. Like, bro, when we played Liverpool, like that, we went 2-1 up. I said, ooh, I don't know. Salah hasn't done anything yet, so I don't think this game is over. Bro, do you know how insane that is? For you to say to yourself, because he hasn't done anything yet, this game isn't over. But that is the effect he literally has. Like, and I think you see the belief, even his whole teammates, bro. He picks up the ball. Gakpo is on the left wing going. There's so much belief in him. And it's deserved, bro. He's different. Like, and don't get me wrong, I was on the wave of, to me, Sadio Mane was producing more, or just more of the like it man at Liverpool in the sense of like he wasn't getting the GA, but ball goes out there. So Mane he was more of a 90 minutes man, where I think Salah gives you the top tier moments. I think Mane will leave a game with nothing, but like during those 90 minutes, like that fullback was terrified. Whereas I think as a fullback against Salah, you would think, man, I just had a great 30 minutes. And then in 20 minutes, he has a hat trick. You're like, wait, what happened? Like, what happened? Like, but I think that's what you get from the Premier League greats. Like, they literally are like, wait a minute, I'm Mo Salah. Boom, game over. And I think he has that in abundance, bro. Like, and yeah, this, like, I know people are going to be, Arsenal's second again, third season in a row. But like, bro, when was the last time a player won the Ballon d'Or in the Premier League? Ronaldo, bro. like, we're about to see that happen again, bro. Like, and I hear it. Like, yes, we should be doing better, but bro, this is what we're going against, bro. We're going against a man about to drop a Ballon d'Or season. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's almost made me like be like, fair, man. Fair. You got it, bro. You got it. Because like you mentioned, that 75% stat, bro, different.
Any excuse for Darren to bring up the excuses for Arsenal, you know. 2 years ago was too soon. 2 years ago was too soon.
I said we're not winning the league this year.
Last year it was, City's just unreal. Rodri Ballon d'Or. And
look what's happening to us, bro.
This year it was Salah.
What's happening to
I
us,
just want
bro?
everyone to know
We're
that
going up against Ballon d'Or winners every year.
Arsenal
What's
will not
happening
be winning
to
the
us?
league anytime soon. I'm tired of these excuses of why they got second. But anyways,
Next year's our year,
Josh,
bro. Next
Josh,
year's our
let's
year.
hear
I
about
didn't say
Salah.
that. I didn't say that for this year. Next year, Prem, Champions League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, quadruple. It's coming home.
I am so glad that he said
he's
this
not-
on a video.
And Rodrigo.
Finally,
There's evidence. There's evidence.
finally.
Isak and Rodrigo coming home. We're doing it all, bro.
Josh and I have probably been listening to these outlandish takes and the Oracle would never say something like that.
Bro,
I mean, I already own Darren's first one.
Isak and Rodrigo. We're getting a quadruple.
All right. Enough Arsenal. Josh, let's hear it.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't really watch other games other than Chelsea games, so I haven't like seen him play, but I've like obviously heard.
Brother,
Like,
this guy.
oh yeah, but like I mean,
Why would
but
we bring this guy on the pod?
When we want to do a Chelsea preview, we'll bring you back on, John. This is a terrible performance.
but yeah, I mean, like he's the main talk in like all of football right now, like not just Prem, like everybody's talking about him. Like every game, like as Darren said, he is goal assist, like every single game at this point. And like to have like what 75% like contribution for a team who's like top of the Premier League, top of the Champions League, top of like so like he's basically carrying his team on his back to win everything. Like, and that's like Messi, Ronaldo type thing.
Activities, bro, dead ass.
Right. Like, so it's quite scary what he's doing, especially like at this age. Like, it's crazy. Like he's like his peers at this age are collecting checks in Saudi. Like, so
he had the chance this year too, and he didn't take it.
Yeah, so like it's like I don't know why all of a sudden he decided to do this, but it's quite crazy. Yeah, so I think number one, like I think he was the first one who popped up in my head when the list.
Yeah.
I put him first, and everybody else I thought of, but
yeah. So I'm just gonna finish up this talk. I think I'm gonna get pelters for this video because I put Salah second. Obviously, I did it for a headline partially. I thought, I want to bring up
for the hot takes episode.
I know, and I wanted to put, some respect on Vinny's name, and I also thought, if I'm sitting here trying to watch a winger, I would prefer to watch Vinny. But Mohamed Salah, I think you guys have summed up a lot of what I'd like to say. I think Darren talked about aesthetics, and I think Salah gets a lot of hate for how he plays and his aesthetics because, he's not the type of player that is super delicate with dribbling or super flair type player. The ball sticks to his feet a lot. And there's a reason the ball sticks to his feet so much. There's a reason that Mohamed Salah scores 20 goals every season and he gets 10 assists now every season. There's a reason he's doing this. And again, inevitability means the player's good. If this player is always scoring and always assisting, it means he's unreal. So, I mean, whether you think he's fun to watch or not, whether you think he's technically super gifted or not, he's an extremely good player. Probably the best player in the world. Now, what I would say about Salah, and the reason that I think Salah's level has elevated so much is I thought the first season Salah was unreal. I loved watching Salah the first season. I thought his dribbling was the best it's been. And I don't think he was passing much. I think he was just, I'm eating up goals. Since then, I've been unreal player, one of the best players in the world. Every year, I think he's a team of the season player. But it was to the extent of he wouldn't have been my number one winger on the list. Now, the reason he's the best player in the world right now, and the reason he's number one on our list, he's got that end product to the point where now he's diming too. And you don't know as a defender if he's going to dish it out and get an assist or score. Normally, you're like, he's going to score. Normally, you're like, and that's where I think Liverpool kind of, towards the tail end of the season, why they've kind of struggled to get over that line is because Mohamed Salah's been, that sole threat in front of net. And it's been, he can't carry a team with 40 goals every single season. But what he can do is he can let everybody else eat, take some of the attention off him, and then he eats too. And that's where this creativity has brought him to a whole new level. And I think, again, he's got 25 goals and 17 assists this season, I believe. That's unheard of. Dude, some people
He's gonna try and go 30 and 25, bro.
Some people, if that was their career stats, they'd be like, that's crazy. That's one of the best seasons ever in the Prem. And we have like 10 games left, bro.
I think he might even go 40 and 25.
He really might get 40. You understand?
It's scary, bro.
Talking about Holland for a Ballon d'Or for like 36 goals and 50 goals all comps. Salah's going to get 50 goals all comps and then drop 35 assists all comps on top of it. I think this man, we need to understand the season this man's having. And, we talk about GOATs. We talk about Messi. We talk about Ronaldo. He's putting up numbers that we see from them, and we're like, this is why this guy's the GOAT. Nowhere near am I saying Salah's the GOAT, but this season he's putting up numbers like...
It's facts, though. He's
no one can speak to this man.
Like numbers, bro. Like, what are we watching? Like,
and all credit to Liverpool, because I think Liverpool itself is a team that's built around Salah, and I think players like Gravenberch, players like McAllister, who's come in, and I think he's been unreal for them. Players like Slabashlai, I don't know how you exactly say his name.
Suspended Bob.
But yeah, these players, anyways, they are built around that purpose of Mohamed Salah being that focal point. And I think this team is perfect for Mohamed Salah. I think Liverpool is Mohamed Salah. If they lose Mohamed Salah next year, I think it's going to be a huge identity shock. And I don't think people realize, how big of a loss. I think people even will say Van Dijk
will be back. He'll be back.
But I think Mohamed Salah is the most important player in the entire Premier League. So I think number one on our list for How's Your Touch is Mohamed Salah, and that's where no matter how deluded you are, including myself who put him second, Mohamed Salah will finish number one. So just to round out our top 10.
Wait. What production? We have one more at number 1 overall above Salah, Ethan Wanyeri. What?
And Darren is fired. No, just kidding. Anyways, to run out top 10. Number 10 on our list, Rafael Leao. Number 9, Christian Pulisic. Number 8, Usman. Number 10, Rafael Leao. Number 9, Christian Pulisic. Number 8, Ousmane Dembele. Number 7, Bukayo Saka. Number 6, Michael Olise. Number 5, Rodrigo. Number 4, Rafinha. Number 3, Vinicius Jr. Number 2, Lamine Yamal. And the best winger in the world, the Ballon d'Or winner, Mohamed Salah. Boys, it's been a fun episode. I've enjoyed it a lot.
I agree.
I would love to get hate in the comments just for me.
Tell him what to do, Tate. Tell him what to do.
If you can hate on Josh too. We do remember that he has.
Please, bro. Please.
And
let's be honest, guys.
Honestly, I love having him on. It provides so much comedic relief. Darren and I, it's like free. It's a free punching bag, honestly. I'm loving it. Anyways, we'd love if you liked the video, commented, subscribe to the channel. Yeah. Thank you all if you're still listening at this point, thank you all. Darren and Josh, if you guys have anything else to say before we end the video, now's the time.
Yeah, just a couple of things. First and foremost, once again, I apologize for bringing Josh on this show. Hey, man, we're running low on people who will volunteer for guests. So come back and chat soon.
Ashton, you're up next.
I know you guys enjoyed that Tate's hosting session. I would say he's the second best host of the show, personally, which is pretty high remarks, Tate. But yeah, make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. Yeah, see you next week, guys. Next week, like, chill on us. But see you soon. Oh God.
Tate, I wouldn't be wanting to spend this moment with anybody else but you. Take my hand. Take my hand. Take my hand. Take my hand.